Well, we took a week off, but we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the MEAC More here on the HBCU Sports Podcast Network. I am your host, Delaware State's own Chris Stevens. Hopefully, you all are doing well out there. Today's show is going to be pretty much what you expect if you read the little description and looked at the cover art. Today's going to be about the MEAC and More, but MEAC Media Day, excuse me. But before we get to that, this edition of the MEAC and More with Chris Stevens is brought to you by the second annual HBCU Sports Awards. We will be coming to you live from this very YouTube channel on Saturday, July 26th at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific time, excuse me. And what is that? Is that 9 a.m. Hawaiian? Yeah, 9 a.m. Hawaiian. And 9 p.m. over if you're over in Europe. Either way, yes. So the HBCU Sports Awards is coming. We're going to be honoring the best and brightest from the 2024-2025 academic and athletic year, and it will serve as a bridge for us to take you over into the 2025-2026 academic year. So please tune in. It'll be myself, Ken Rashad, Kendrick Marshall, Jared Hoffman. We're going to have a good time, man. We're going to have a good time on Saturday. We're going to get dressed up. I hate getting dressed up. Let me level with y'all. I do not like wearing suits. That's why I've been a sports writer my whole life, because as a sports writer, the only thing you really have to wear to a game is khakis and golf shirts. And everybody says sports writers are the worst dressed people in the profession. I don't care. I hate dressing up, because the thing is, my mom used to make us go to church every Sunday. And I used to hate wearing dress pants, dress shirts, shoes, because I have big wide feet, and the shoes that we got never really fit my feet. So my dogs would be in church barking. So that's just a little did you know about Chris Stevens. I hate getting dressed up. But for the HBCU Sports Awards, I will find myself I still got a suit jacket and a white t-shirt hanging around somewhere. I will throw that on, and I will join Ken, Kendrick, and Jared all dressed up to talk about the best and brightest in Black college athletics for the 2024-2025 athletic year. So that's the second annual HBCU Sports Awards, Saturday, July the 26th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, this show, as you guys have probably already figured out, is also sponsored by my music podcast. I thought I had this loaded up, and I didn't, but that's okay. It's called On the Groove Line. On the Groove Line is a music podcast, and now we have a website where reviews of music from the past and present will be written. So first, I want to give you guys the link to the YouTube channel so you guys can subscribe there. And we've reached 100 subscribers. So if you are interested in any sort of music discussion, that talks hip hop, R&B, funk, soul, disco, house, I got you covered. And I'm also going to be interviewing different artists from different spheres. So very much looking forward to you guys checking that out. And again, here's the website, so you guys don't forget. I'll be writing reviews over there as well, so be sure to bookmark that. Oh, wait, let me make sure I put it in chat so you guys can know to bookmark it. All right, so there's the website, onthegrooveline.com. You can't miss it. I've written 3 articles this week. There'll be more to come, so be sure to subscribe to those. And again, bookmark that website and be sure to subscribe to the On the Groove Line YouTube channel. All music all the time for me when I'm not doing HBCU sports. But the reason we are here, it's MEAC Media Day. And remember when we last met and I told you guys that it was a bad idea to have a certain former NFL running back coming into the HBCU space because his former teammates are now coaches in the MEAC? It's a hard job being right all the time, but somebody's got to do it. Might as well be me. If you don't know what I'm talking about, here is the clip that has been heard around the HBCU world. That is LeSean Shady McCoy mislabeling a school.
Larry Scott here with Hampton, and it's funny, man. You could tell when Hampton's in the building, high standards. Look at that.
But we're going to keep letting that go. We're not Hampton. We're the real HU. We're at Howard University.
That's my bad. Let's give a little bit.
Yeah, because you came out and said this is God we want.
Let me put this down. That's my fault. But
I told y'all, man. I told y'all it was a bad idea to have LeSean McCoy anywhere near MEAC Media Day. Listen, I don't claim that, as Jay-Z once said, I ain't past the bar, but I know a little bit. And a dude who literally campaigned for that man's job, mind you. And let me say that Larry Scott is a far better man than me, because there is no way There's no way. I'm sitting across the table, across the room from a guy who openly campaigned for my job. Like, I don't know about y'all. I mean, everybody listening to this and watching this has probably had some kind of, situation where somebody was trying to snake you out of your spot at work. It's happened to me. It's happened to quite a few of us. You ain't really going to be charitable towards a person that has openly campaigned for your job. But Larry Scott, being the true professional and the class act that he is, he's like, nah, you just got to call us Howard University. We have real standards, which I found was hilarious. But Larry Scott's a better man than me. There's no way that I'm sitting near Shady McCoy and this man literally campaigned for my job a few weeks ago and couldn't even get the school name right. Do you know how crazy that is to be how crazy it is to be bad at the job of dirty macking? That would be me trying to tell Shelly Ann Fraser Price that I can be better than her husband, and I don't remember her birthday, December 27th, 1986, by the way. So it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why in the world would you campaign for this man's job, and then because two of your boys, Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick, got coaching jobs, you want to latch your name onto HBCU athletics, especially after you just got kicked out from Fox Sports? Hey, man. All press ain't good press. All press ain't good press. Shouts out to WSSU Ram Nation checking in. The MEAC actually generated some drama without losing a school or gaining one either, even though we've talked about that ad nauseum. Shouts out to Adam Spencer. Where the hell did I get Spencer from? Ooh. Shouts out to Adam Spencer checking in. He said, Banks said we got a satellite campus in DC now. Go Pirates. So thank y'all thank you guys for tuning in so far. But yeah, there's no way. Like, we don't want to be harsh gatekeepers, but we need to be gatekeepers. Not everybody should be in the HBCU space, especially people that didn't go to an HBCU. Respectfully. Like, my thing is, this is just me talking. Again, the views of Chris Stevens do not reflect those of HBCU sports. They don't reflect the views of Ken Rashad, Kendrick Marshall, and Jared Hoffman. This is Chris Stevens talking. This is my personal opinion. You can't come in our house and tell us what to do when you've been living on the other side of town for so many years. Like, LeSean McCoy went to Pitt. What does he know about Howard? What does he know about Hampton? What does he know about? Matter of fact, Hampton left the MEAC in 2018. So it's not like it's an honest mistake. Hampton has been gone since the middle of Trumpkin's first term. You could have researched that in 15 seconds. Like, where is Hampton now? Oh, the coastal. We'll talk about the Hampton and A&T's predictions in the coastal in a minute. But that's a simple thing you could have just researched on your phone. What conference is Hampton in now? It's that simple. But when you rely on the fact that you used to be an NFL player and that two of your boys are now coaches in the league and you just latching on just to latch on, it's not a good look. It is not a good look at all. And I didn't watch all of MEAC Media Day because I was working on some other things and working on some other stuff. But it just doesn't make sense to me to have a guy who is not in the best interest of your space in your space. And there's a few bad faith actors in the HBCU sports media space. Not many, but there are a few. And they're loud and they're annoying as all get out. You can probably figure out who I'm talking about. I ain't gotta say no names. You already know. But I just want us to be cautious and be cognizant of people like McCoy, people like, a few other folks in the space who are just here to stir the pot and not, But the point is, like I said, you can't come off. That's a bad first impression. I don't care what you say. That's a bad first impression. You can defend Shady McCoy all you want. You're not going to get an amen or agreement here. I'm telling you that right now. So, you can bang the drum for Shady all you want. Not here. But anyway, now what was I saying before I was so rudely interrupted? Oh yeah, shout out to Kim Spears says that Shady comes off as not being authentic. Brandon Cyrus makes up a great point. Just be professional in every endeavor. That's it. It's that simple. It is that simple. We're not saying you got to be, we ain't got to say you got to, be with the drum majors and all of that. You ain't got to, you ain't got to show your cap and shuffle. I really just did that. I'm sorry, Ken. I'm sorry, but I just had to do the little cap and shuffle real quick. You don't have to do all of that. Just be yourself and be respectful. That's really all it boils down to. Just be respectful. Be yourself and be respectful. It's that simple. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about it, Lennon. Shouts out to Lennon Blow checking in. What's up, Chris? My Norfolk State University Spartans picked to finish 4th. I think we're going to surprise people. LeSean McCoy was straight ass at media day. He needs to go somewhere and sit down. Right on. WSSU Ram Nation. Unfortunately, yeah, he's right about this. HBCUs are the training ground. But we don't want to spend too much time on Shady. We want to spend some time on this. It is the official MEAC predicted order of finish for the 2025 football season. And the team that won last year is predicted to win again this year. South Carolina State garnered 63 points for a first place finish. North Carolina Central not very far behind with 61 points for second place. Morgan State, who had the offensive and defensive players of the year, preseason players of the year, are picked third at 39 points. As Lennon recently mentioned, Michael Vick's Norfolk State Spartans picked fourth with 36 points. Larry Scott's Howard Bison fifth with 33 points. And my Delaware State University Hornets bringing up the rear with 20 points for sixth place. Now, my thoughts about this looks about right. It looks about right. Shennis Berry did a wonderful job in bringing in his type of player combined with the guys that Buddy Pugh already had in there, because Buddy Pugh did not lead the cover bear by any stretch when he retired. And Coach Berry just brought in more of his type of guys from Benedict and different places, and it worked like gangbusters. South Carolina State won the MEAC pretty easily. And if Eric Phoenix isn't hurt, because it was clear that Eric Phoenix was not healthy in the Celebration Bowl. He wasn't. If a healthy Eric Phoenix in the Celebration Bowl, I think makes a bit of a difference. Jackson State, they wouldn't be denied. Jackson State probably would have won the game anyway, but it wouldn't have been a Randy Savage elbow off the top rope like it was if Eric Phoenix had been 100%. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and South Carolina State paid dearly for it. But I don't mind this. And I don't mind Central being second because Trey Oliver, he returns a lot. He's got his quarterback back, Walker Harris. He's got some young receivers to be excited about. A few studs along that front seven on defense that are still there. That's a really good football team. I honestly thought they should have been invited to the FCS playoffs last year. That was my personal opinion. Morgan State being picked to finish third. We've said this about Morgan State during the duration of my time working for HBCU sports. If only they had an offense. You need an offense. And they have a wonderful defense. Eric Hunter didn't even play last year for the most part. And I'm glad, and that's why I'm glad that the NCAA has given these kids a fifth year eligibility so they can go back and get what's theirs, if they miss something, because injuries suck. Injuries absolutely suck. You hate to see anybody get hurt. I don't care what school you root for. I don't care what school you root against. You never want to see a kid hurt. And Eric Hunter being hurt last year, I think cost Morgan State the MEAC championship. I'm gonna go ahead and say it, because him and Elijah Williams did damage in 2023. And then of course, 2024 was a whole different story, but Morgan State still finished with their best record since they won the MEAC in 2014. So if they have an offense that can put up, I'll say 24 to 27 points a game, and that's nothing, and that's a big number. In college football, you still got to be able to, put it in the end zone or at least get field goals and, to get your offense going. And that was something that Morgan State, had to really, has really had to work on. But if they can do that, then they're absolutely a dark horse for the MEAC championship. Norfolk State finished being picked to finish fourth. Again, that doesn't surprise me. That's where they were last year. Coach Vick, tremendous acumen as a local guy. It's really going to be interesting to see what his staff and how their game plan looks on the field. But, they did go out and they did some recruiting in. They did some, hey, come on, WSSU Ram Nation. Good God almighty. I can't put that on the chat. Oh, my God. Oh boy, here comes Adrian Crook from the SWAC. Everything up there sucks in my eyes. SU over everyone. Forget everyone else. Man, y'all better look out for Prairie View. Just saying. Shout out to Silas. Edward McMorris checking in. Appreciate you greatly. Now I want to talk about this. Lennon says if Coach Wilson doesn't fix that offense in Morgan State, he will get fired at the end of the season. I'm not sure I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that. Because here's the thing. This is a Morgan State team that has not been good since moving to Division I. I mean, that's the facts. The last time they, the MEAC, as Brandon points out, when Morgan State won that 5-way tie for the MEAC in 2014, that was their first MEAC title since 1979. 35 years. So they've won 2 MEAC championships since the move to Division I. I mean, the expectations are not that great. They're not that great. And as WHSU Ram Nation points out, they have not had back-to-back winning records this century. So if you're gonna chase down because WSU Ram Nation, I know he's joking about this, but yeah, I can't imagine you fire a guy of Damon Wilson's pedigree, a man who took Bowie State to the brink of Division II glory. Shout out to my colleague Jared Hoffman. I can't imagine you get rid of him that quickly. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. It would be a shock to me if Morgan State moved on from Damon Wilson after this year or the next. But I think 2026 is where you start to kind of get worried a little bit. I think that's where you start to get worried a little bit. But I think 2025, I think this Morgan State team is going to be really, really good. I don't know if they can beat South Carolina State. I don't know if they can beat North Carolina Central. But if they do, look out. As far as Howard being picked to finish 5th, I think what happened with that is they got hurt. A lot of guys got hurt last year, and the MEAC, played a better brand of ball in 2024 than it did in 2023. Because everybody in the MEAC was terrible in 2023, save for Central and Howard. And then, of course, Howard went ahead and dropped the 50 burger on Central. That was the absolute stunner of all stunners. Like, it literally, I got home from covering the Del State football game for HBCU Sports and said, let me see what's going on with Howard and North Carolina Central. I looked at my TV. I said, what the? I couldn't believe Howard was just absolutely putting the people's elbows on folks. So, but that's what happens sometimes. But the MEAC played a much better brand of ball in 2024 outside of Delaware State. And Coach Scott is going to have to really, really ratchet it up to compete because Norfolk State got some nice transfers in. Morgan State returns a bunch. Central returns a bunch. South Carolina State returns a bunch. So it's going to be hard for Howard to compete this year. I mean, that non-conference schedule that's really tough for them is going to be the tip, quite honestly. So I'm really interested to see what Howard looks like this year. As far as my Delaware State University Hornets, look, man, if we could just win more than one game this year, I feel like that's an improvement. Because Delaware State, the last 2 years, was 2-22. They won 2 games. 2. The one against the Washington Generals of Black College Football, Virginia University of Lynchburg, and last year they won their only Division I contest of the year. I mean, the only Division I win they had since 2022 was Sacred Heart. So DSU football, I mean, it's at the bottom right now. Make no mistake about it. It is at the bottom. It is at the bottom. So, and I know Coach Jackson said he likes the fact that Del State is underdogs, that he's used to climbing up from the bottom. I don't know if he's going to be used to this challenge because, again, I say this all the time whenever I talk about Delaware State football. The last time Delaware State had a winning season was 2012. Their last MEAC championship was 2007. That's a lot of bad juju to overcome. It's going to be a ton of work that needs to be put in to put this program back on the right track. Shouts out to Johnny Thornton checking in. I'd like to meet some of the financial donors who have the money to demand Morgan State's football coach be fired. Yeah, so would I. Because you're crazy if you get rid of Damon Wilson. That's my personal opinion. If you want to win, you gotta stick it out. Rome wasn't built in a day. And I've seen coaches with less talent and less, shall we say, strategic know-it-all last longer at certain schools. So yeah, I'm not on the fire Coach Wilson train at all. Not by any stretch of imagination. Good dude, number one. Every time I talk to him during MEAC Media Week, he's always been cordial and very quotable, and just seems like a good cat, and he's a good football coach. So I'm not going to sit here and say if Morgan State doesn't win the MEAC this year, he should go. No, look at what's in front of you. Central and State are really, really doggone good. Really, really doggone good. There's no shame in losing to either one of those. If they end up beating one of them and end up getting to Atlanta, then it's a blessing. I would like to see a different Celebration Bowl matchup just to see how ESPN promotes it and how the MEAC and the SWAC promote it. Like, I'm not asking for anything outlandish. I would like to just for 1 year see something like Morgan State versus, we'll say, Alabama State or Bethune-Cookman or Prairie View. Something different, something fresh. I would love to see how ESPN markets that. I absolutely would love to see how ESPN markets that because, we talk about this all the time. We have 107 HBCUs, but people can only usually name 2 or 3 that are, not HBCU lifers like us. Like if you ask the average person off the street, the average Black person off the street that went to like a PWI or maybe bypass college, you ask them to name an HBCU. I'm telling you that Howard and Hampton and Morehouse and A&T are probably going to be the 4 that they name. Everybody else is probably going to be like, wow, that's an HBCU. Wow, that's an HBCU. So, yeah, our schools deserve equal, footing, but it's just going to be hard to parcel that out. Lennon says Delaware State needs to head back to the CIAA and take Maryland Eastern Shore with you. I can't argue anything counter to this point. I would love to stay in the MEAC in Division I, especially since our basketball program is starting to really be good again. Shouts out to my guy Stan Waterman, the Delaware State men's basketball coach, who literally has known me my entire life. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Delaware State men's basketball team looks like this year. Shouts out to Chuck Hunt checking in from Monroe, Louisiana, Hampton. Thanks for Chuck for checking in. Brandon Cyrus says ESPN would jump out the window trying to market Morgan in the Celebration Bowl. Would they? It's Baltimore, man. You can market Baltimore pretty easily, I would think. And Morgan has, it's a long ago tradition, but they have a tradition, when they were coached by Eddie Hurt and the great Willie Lanier, one of the great middle linebackers in history of the NFL. He went to Morgan State. Leroy Kelly, the guy who replaced Jim Brown for the Cleveland Browns, he went to Morgan State. So, you could market Morgan State. You just have to really think outside the box in doing so. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, your donations are key because as Ken so humbly pointed out, we need y'all. So if you want to keep this operation going and keep some of us from being out on the street, you can make a super chat donation. You can also donate by going to the Zelle app and hitting donate at hbcusports.com, and be sure to go to hbcusports.com/donate and make sure that this operation keeps going and that, I don't have to start an OnlyFans. I'm kidding. But yeah, WSSU Ram Nation says Big House Gaines ain't walking through that door. A lot of people forget that Mr. Clarence Gaines Sr. got his start at the Morgan State University. Of course, he's a Winston-Salem State icon, make no mistake about it, but he was a football and basketball player at Morgan State first before he went to take Winston-Salem Teachers College on to a unprecedented level of success in the basketball arena. Adrian says, if they marketed country ass Jackson, they can work with anything. Hey, I got nothing but love for Mississippi, so you ain't going to catch me with the slander. But, you know, you ain't going to catch me with the Mississippi shade. Not at all. Mississippi got some fine ass women too. Did you know that? I don't think you know that. But anyway, yeah. So back to this particular order of finish. You know, the biggest thing for Delaware State is they got to win more than one football game. If they can get, I'm going to say 4. I'm going to say 4 is a fair number for a successful season. I think if they can get to 4-7, 4-8, cool. Cool. Anything like 1-11, 2-10, or clutch the pearls 0-12, it's an absolute disaster. It's an absolute disaster. So you've got to win at least 4 football games for this to feel like it's turning the corner. That's my personal opinion. Because when Delaware State panicked and fired Rod Milstead, that team was 5-6, and they started the season 4-2, 2022. I'll never forget this because I was working for the Delaware newspaper at the time, covering Delaware State football. And they started the season 4-2. And then guys got injured, guys got COVID, and the wheels fell apart. And they finished 5-6. So that 2022 Delaware State football team was this close to turning the corner. They just had some really, really bad luck. It's really that simple. And they panicked. They got rid of Coach Milstead, and then they brought in Lee Hall. Again, Lee Hall, fine gentleman. Always enjoyed talking to him. Never had a problem with him. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. The wrong place at the wrong time. It's really that simple. And now the issue has turned to Deshaun Jackson, which is cool, but we'll see what happens. But I think it is interesting that this happened while Coach Jackson came along. This was something that I reported last week, that Delaware State finally received the $20 million that they were seeking for the field house. If you don't know, this has been a project for at least a decade. A football field house that will also serve as practice facilities for different sports programs and house the athletic offices. And to get $20 million from the state of Delaware for athletics is a shock, because I've lived in Delaware my entire life, and the state don't give us nothing. They don't give us diddly. So to see this coming across my desk, that Delaware State got $20 million for something athletics, I literally was just like, oh, okay. But yeah, I actually took this picture, the picture you're looking at. I actually took this at Coach Jackson's press conference, because they had it off to the side because, you know, the attention, of course, was on Deshaun. But I looked to my left. I said, "Oh, what's that?" And I looked at the model, and I was like, "All right, let me sneak a picture of this while nobody's paying attention." So, journalism, investigative journalism, is not dead, folks. We're carrying it over here at HBCU Sports. So again, feel free to tone. Shouts out to ODB. Let me see if I can put this on the screen real quick. Hey, man, it's hard out here for a pimp. I'm just saying, you know, we all got to make a money. We all got to make a living. But thank you for your generous donation. We greatly appreciate it. Also, ladies, I am looking for co-stars. Kidding. But yes, Delaware State absolutely is owed this. It's owed this, because I'll never forget, nobody asked for Dover Downs, to be quite honest. Dover Downs should be Delaware State's property, to be quite honest with you. And I'm going to offend some NASCAR fans, because I know we got a lot of black people that love NASCAR. I ain't judging you. But Dover Downs should have been Delaware State's land. Just my personal opinion. But, you know, getting $20 million for this is huge. And there's also a caveat that was written into the state budget bill that everybody's going to explore fund that the state budget committee and the university will explore ways to fund a new convocation center. That's even bigger than the field house. Because as I've told you guys, Delaware State University's home gym, Memorial Hall, is a converted barn that is 43 years old. It is time to replace Memorial Hall. I mean, Alumni Stadium has to get replaced eventually, but the thing is, with the field house, you can kind of mitigate that because you give the kids the practice facilities that they desire. Because that's what every kid and every parent looks for. They want to see, LED screens. They want to see these way out, far out of sight locker rooms and all of this other stuff and lounges and things of that nature. And this is going to be big. This is absolutely going to be big. He sure was. He sure was. A lot of state dignitaries were there. A ton. Matter of fact, one of my very best friends, State Senator Darius Brown, me and him chopped it up for a long time about how important this was after the press conference. So, Darius and I both went to Delaware State. So, this was huge. So this was huge. This is the key, Lennon. The convocation center will cost $90 million. We were lucky to get $20 million for this field house. So that 90 million ducats, it's probably going to have to come from, I would imagine, a sponsorship of some kind. Like somebody's got to have name brand rights, basically. Like you might have to call it the I don't know, maybe the DuPont Convocation Center. And Delaware is the home of corporate, corporate trademarks and corporate incorporation. A lot of businesses have their official trademarks and stuff here in Delaware because our banking laws are so doggone friendly. So if one of these major corporations come through and says, hey, we can give you guys about $70 million for that, just put our name on the building, then it should get done. It absolutely should get done. It absolutely should get done. Okay, who else am I? Yeah, Brandon, you're probably right. Because I'll never forget, when I was working for the Dover Post in 2011, I was a sports writer then. I was a sports writer for that paper. I have a long career, folks. I've been doing this for 23 going on 24 years. So I've been some places and I've seen some things. So the state reporter comes back for our meeting, our weekly meeting, and he says, wow, that budget hearing went kind of smooth. I was like, all right, so just out of curiosity, how much did the University of Delaware get in state funding? He said $113 million. I was like, okay. How much did Delaware State get? $32 million. And this was in 2011. Imagine how that inflation has inflated now that we're in 2025. So yeah, UD is absolutely going to get more money, but Delaware State getting, something for athletics is huge. Man, they better put some money on it after they took our land. They better. I wouldn't be against it, be quite honest with you. The new AD at Valley. How is she an AD at Delaware State? Alicia Shields-Gaston, I don't think she was a bad AD. I don't. But I do understand that Dr. Allen wanted to go in a different direction because I don't think AD, I can't say for sure because I don't have all the intel. I don't have all the, or as the young folks say, I don't have the tea. But I just think that Dr. Allen wanted the program to go in a different direction. And Tony Tucker is something of a local legend. He played at the old Wilmington High School, won a state championship there, played basketball at the University of Delaware. He served in all kinds of sports capacities across the country. He is a big deal here in Delaware. Like, he can go in the room, he can shake the hands, he can kiss the babies, he can do all that good stuff. Not saying A.D. Gadsden could, but Tony Tucker's name carries more weight than Alicia Shields-Gadsden's name does. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of it. And I think she's going to do a good job at Mississippi Valley State. I really do, because she raised a lot of money. She raised some money at Delaware State. It wasn't anything exorbitant, but it was something that could hold the school down until they could do a little better. And Valley needed somebody in there with a positive attitude, a can-do spirit, and somebody who has, been through the HBCU fires. I mean, A.D. Gadsden graduated from Southern. She was an associate A.D. at Coppin. She was A.D. at Delaware State. So I don't think she was a bad A.D. for Delaware State. I just think that Dr. Allen, the president, wanted to go in a different direction. And Tony Tucker, again, is a local legend. Like, this dude graduated from high school over 40 years ago, and people are still talking about his efforts in the 1983 Delaware High School basketball state tournament. So when you got that kind of guy on board, when people can say, "Oh, that's Tony Tucker, let me write a check for Delaware State," it is what it is. But I do think that A.D. Gadsden is going to do a really good job at Valley. I do. All right, where else are we? Am I missing anything here? Silas, yes. John Taylor is Deshaun Jackson's uncle. Absolutely. Forgot to answer that question. All right. I agree with you, Ezra. The only problem is we just got money for a field house. I don't know how we're going to get $200 million for a football stadium. It would be nice, but I don't know where you want to get $200 million for it. But I think what Delaware State is probably going to have to do is just, I guess you'd call it nip and tuck. Remember that show, Nip and Tuck? The show about plastic surgeons and all of that? You didn't miss the whole show, Amanda, just about the first 30 so minutes, but I'll probably be here until about 1. So if you want to double back and, here's the thing about going live on YouTube. You guys can always hit the cursor back to the beginning, pick through the stuff that you want to listen to, and then come back and catch up to us. We'll take the views and likes and comments any way we can get them. How big is their attendance versus average capacity? How big is their average attendance versus capacity? I can tell you now, nobody went to a Delaware State football game last year. Nobody. And they generously have said that stadium seats 7,500. I went to Delaware State. I saw them put new bleachers in. I saw them put turf in. That stadium don't seat no 7,500. Maybe 500 tops. Maybe 5,000 tops. But the fact of the matter is the Delaware State women's volleyball team that beat Howard for the MEAC championship, they had a greater attendance for the MEAC volleyball championship game than the last home game of the Delaware State football season. That's where we are right now. And that's why Coach Jackson, I guess for lack of a better word, is here. He's going to bring curious eyes to the stadium. Hopefully it works. So, man, Joe got other problems right now. That man has other problems. I mean, all the best to President Biden. Like, that man gave literally his entire life to the United States of America for this country to turn its back on, for an orange dictator. This country gets what it deserves, quite frankly. Just saying it. But yeah. I don't know what the future holds for Delaware State football. I do know that 2025 is going to be huge, that Deshaun Jackson absolutely needs to win 4 games at least. If this team somehow finishes 6-6, then it's a miracle. Then we are probably going to be dancing in the aisles. I will probably get a hornet tattooed on my arm if that happens. I probably should have a Delaware State tattoo anyway, but I don't do needles very well. So maybe I won't get a tattoo, but I'll do something. I'll do something to celebrate if Delaware State finishes 6-6. I'll do something. How many sellouts do you think DSU will have this year? That's a good question, because the one game that would have been a sellout has been moved to Lincoln Financial Field. The Delaware State Norfolk State game is now at Lincoln Financial Field on Thursday, October 30th. And yes, your boy will be in the building. Good question. I don't know. I really don't know, because our home schedule this year is Albany, Bowie State, I believe Howard, and shucks, I can't think of who else. I don't know. I mean, I would be. I think the Albany game. I don't know if the Albany game is gonna draw any real attention because it's Albany. Nobody in Delaware gives a damn about Albany. Nobody cared about Albany when they were playing against UD in the Coastal. So I don't know if that's a sellout. Maybe Bowie State. I mean, because Bowie State does travel. So maybe Bowie brings a sizable crowd. Maybe they get ramped up. Maybe MEAC play gets ramped up. Thank you, Amanda. We greatly appreciate you. We try to get some super chats. The more super chats we get, the more this operation stays open. The more I get away from joking about starting OnlyFans. But yeah, I'm not sure how many sellouts are going to be this year. I mean, it really depends. Like, I think people are trying to wait to see what DSU looks like when they play UD on August 28th. That's going to be the tell. If they get hammered by UD, who of course is now moved up to FBS and Conference USA, then people are going to be like, oh, same old DSU, I ain't even going to bother. But if they can compete with Del State, they can compete with UD, then yeah, people will probably say, okay, maybe they will look better. Let's go see them against Albany next week. Let's go see them against Bowie on the 20th, the 13th. Who knows? But I honestly, people are excited about Delaware State football for the first time, and I don't know when, but it's got to translate on the field. Like, you got to win games. You have to win games. We don't have a Cash App, Ezra. We have a website that you can go to. It's I'll put that link in the chat if you guys are so interested. So you guys can go to that little link right there and drop some coin. Nope. Not if Miss Kathy's watching. No, sir, no, ma'am. Shouts out to Jared Hoffman's lovely mother, Miss Kathy. She says, don't. She was tired of me singing in the early days of the HBCU roundtable. So I have retired my singing voice. But yeah, maybe if we do get 10 super chats, I'll belt out the tune for you guys. Maybe I will. But yeah, we do have Zelle as well. So you can hit the Zelle app, go to donate@hbcusports.com, drop some coins there. That will keep this operation going and all that good stuff. WSU Ram Nation. He always got jokes, man. Lord, y'all counting on Bowie State to help fill the stadium? It's HBCU pride. I would hope that would kick in at some point. But it really depends on how this team looks against UD on August 28th. I'm going to try to be in the building for that one because UD's their media folks, they really don't respond well. So I think I'm going to have to really just, make a trip down there one day, just sit on the front step and say, hey, I cover HBCU sports. Can I get a pass for Delaware State on August 28th and hope that they don't call security on me? So I hope to be in the building for that one. But that's really going to be the tell. If this team looks horrible against UD, people are just going to be like, oh man, whatever. But if they look like they can play, then it's like, all right, okay, we'll go see them. So it really depends. It really truly depends. But yeah, the MEAC, I think they got it right with the predicted order of finish. South Carolina State's great. North Carolina Central was close to beating them last year. Morgan State was always in the hunt. Norfolk State, Howard, and Delaware State, they got some building to do. So we will see. And we will move on rather quickly because I don't want to hold you guys here past 1 o'clock. Man, listen. I will do one live from the 50-yard line of Tubby Raymond Field at Delaware Stadium. I promise you. I will ask Ken and Kendrick. I will ask Ken Rashad and Kendrick Marshall for the credentials right there in the middle of the stadium. I will absolutely stand on the 50-yard line at UD and say, Hornets. But I would be shocked if that happened. I would be pleasantly shocked, but I don't know. I'm not sure that's going to happen. And shouts out to Israel Carey from Jackson State. He says, I'm hoping for North Carolina Central to finish. We got some unfinished business. Yeah, because that 20 was that the 2023 Celebration Bowl? No, it was 2022. I'm sorry. 2022 Celebration Bowl was a barn burner. That was a good one. That was a fun one. Now, I would love to see Jackson State and Central run it back. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Amanda says, except South Carolina State is not winning in the nest. Yeah, because that game was in Orangeburg last year. So this game this year, when Central plays South Carolina State, will be at O'Kelly Riddick. I have a great O'Kelly Riddick story I'm going to tell really quickly. I was when DSU was in another bad football state. I was a student reporter in 2003. And North Carolina Central and UD and Delaware State had signed a home and home series for 2003 and 2004. And we drew the short straw. We had to go to O'Kelly Riddick. And I didn't have a car then. I was a sports reporter without a car because when you're covering campus sports, I mean, it's really not that far. Delaware State, you can just walk to the gym. You can just walk to the football stadium. But when I wanted to cover stuff, I had to get on a team bus. But there was no team bus for us. But they did have a student bus go down. So we drove down to Durham, one of the longest bus rides I've ever been on. And it was so uncomfortable because we didn't even have a really good bus. I mean, we had like a cruiser, a coach bus, but it was still tight as hell. And I mean, you bunch 40, 50 college kids who can't stop moving anyway on a bus. I mean, we just kept bumping into each other. I mean, every time somebody would fall asleep, a limb would absolutely hit somebody in the head, in the lap, or something. It was one of the most uncomfortable rides I've ever been on. But I went to cover the football game. And I will never forget that DSU was trying to go for the tying touchdown, and our quarterback, tucked and ran. And he got hit so hard, he did a flip in the air, and the ball flew out of his hands like an old Looney Tunes skit. Like you just, I was like, oh no. Central recovered the ball, and that was it. Long bus ride back from Durham, North Carolina to Dover, Delaware. And that's one of my, and I tell stories about my journalism career all the time on my personal YouTube channel. If you guys ever want to check out my personal YouTube channel, I will put that in the link to the link in the description below, so you guys can in the chat rather, so you guys can subscribe to that one. That's where I talk about all my shouts out to Johnny Thornton, Eagle Pride. Greatly appreciate y'all, Eagle Pride, for coming through for us today. So this was 2003, Amanda. This was 2003. I'll never forget it because I think it was Hurricane Iris that came through our campus that week. We didn't even know if we were going to drive down, but our campus had just been like, and but the bus was still out there on Saturday morning, so we went. We came back till late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. But yeah, that was fun. That I mean, the game wasn't fun because we lost, but the trip itself is just a memory. I mean, I have so many memories from my journalism career. I love to share them all, but I have we got other business to attend to. Oh wow! Shouts out to A&T Roy for the scoop. Don't know if it's been said yet, but Sacred Heart to the Coastal for football in 2026. That's a good get for the Coastal. I mean, because you had to replace Richmond, you had to replace William and Mary. They've moved to the Patriot League. Of course, you had to replace UD, who's moved on to FBS. So you get Sacred Heart. It's not bad. I mean, your New England footprint is still strong because you still have Rhode Island, you still have Maine, you still have New Hampshire. So yeah, I mean, it goes all the way down the coast from New England all the way down to the Carolinas. So that's a good get for the CAA. So real quick, I mean, man, we really have spent a lot of time talking, man. That's the beauty of having a live show and having people who really engage. We really appreciate y'all, by the way. When y'all talk, we talk back, and it makes for great conversation. And we appreciate y'all very, very much. I want to talk about this really quickly. Tennessee State, they won a portion of the Big South OVC last year for the first time since 1999. Made the playoffs for the first time since 2013, and Eddie George took his talents to Bowling Green. And Tennessee State responded by grabbing Reggie Barlow, who has won at the SWAC level with Alabama State and at the CIAA level with Virginia State. So Tennessee State was picked to finish 8th in the 19 OVC. And this is what Coach Barlow had to say. That preseason poll is key, but our players and coaches are laser focused on building something special here at Tennessee State. We're ready, and the only rankings that matter will come when the season plays out on the field. So, yes, I agree with Coach Barlow 100%. I mean, preseason rankings are what they are. I mean, it is what, you come into a season with. But, you still got to play the games. It was Chris Berman that used to say this on primetime. That's why they played the games. I mean, yeah, it's easy to say that, a team is going to finish here, a team is going to finish there, but you really just don't know until you get out there on the field. Lord, Amanda. Eggs and tea will never be on top again. Massa ain't having it in the CAA. Well, that's interesting because the Coastal did come out with their rankings today, and A&T was picked to finish last, 14th, and Hampton was picked to finish 11th. Rhode Island was picked to finish to win the league, by the way. So, yeah, I mean, I want A&T and Hampton to shock everybody. I do, because as much as I miss them in the MEAC, it brings me no pleasure to see them struggle. It doesn't. And everybody's like, well, y'all should just come on back to the MEAC and so on and so on and so forth. I mean, I would love for them to come back, but if they're happy where they're at, I want them to succeed where they're at. It's really that simple. Like, I don't like talking about A&T football being down. I don't like to talk about Hampton basketball being down. I like to remember them for what they were when they were kicking butt and taking names in the MEAC. So I hope that, they shock everybody. And I don't think A&T is going to finish 14th because Sean Gibbs is not going to accept the 14th place finish. Not by any stretch of the imagination. So I really think that, I would love for A&T to be better. I would love for Hampton to be better, because I would just love to see the egg on the faces of everyone who made that, who was talking about how, that HBCUs brought the property value down in the CAA or whatever it was. So I would love for A&T and Hampton to just humiliate those folks. I would. In every sport, not just football. Basketball, volleyball, baseball, Quidditch, whatever the sport, field hockey, don't matter. I want our HBCUs to win whatever conference they in, if they're not in the HBCU conference. It's really that simple. It is really that simple. Like, I hate that the MEAC hurts, and I hate that I hate that the MEAC lost teams of that magnitude, but I still want to see them win because they're HBCUs. That's the thing, man. HBCUs are absolutely a family. We can talk about each other, but outsiders better not talk about us. You can't do it because we're going to be on your neck. We're absolutely going to be on your neck. So, I absolutely root for A&T and Hampton to kick ass and take names in the Coastal. Make no mistake about it. I want them to win. That's why Ken Rashad entrusted me with the MEAC and More, because he knew that I could talk about A&T and Hampton and Tennessee State in a way that wasn't off-putting. A lot of other people in this space seem to have a lot of jokes about Hampton and A&T or whatever, when the reality is we really should be lifting them up because they need it. That, again, as you know, that's my take. That's my take on the matter. Shout out to Jamie Walker checking in. He says, we'll be fine. Football takes time. It does, but I think you got the right guy. Sean Gibbs, he's a tremendous coach. And should have been Florida A&M's head coach, but FAMU's loss is A&T's game. Just saying. So I think A&T is going to be better. I think Hampton will be better, but they got to work through a mess of teams, man. They got to work through a mess of teams, but I think they'll be better than what they're predicted. And we can't wait to see, because it is July 23rd. So what that means is we are officially 1 month, 30 days away from week 0 of college football. We almost there, y'all. We are almost there. So whatever you got going on this summer, enjoy it. Be sure to, if you haven't cooked out yet, please do. If you haven't taken a trip yet, please do. You haven't gone to a concert yet. I have not gone to a concert yet this summer. I'm really mad about that. I'm upset because I was going to get a ticket to see the Whispers at the Dell this past Saturday, but then Walter Scott died. I'm like, ain't that a blip? I love the Whispers. And I wasn't even sure they were going to be there because Walter died. But as it turns out, Scotty and Lavelle showed up. And according to everybody that went to the Dell, they put on a great show. So I'm kicking myself once again. So no, I've not been to a concert yet this summer. I'm going to try to work that out before it gets too late and I have to really lock into football coverage. Because I'm going to be covering Delaware State football for HBCU sports. I may get to a Lincoln game because I live like about 30 minutes away from Lincoln University. So yeah. But yes, enjoy your summer and then let's all lock in on football season because this 2025 promises to be a fun year at the Division II level, at the Division I level, at the NAIA level. I don't know about the Virginia University of Lynchburg level. I don't think it's ever been fun there. So, but yeah, the HBCU level, but yeah, we're going to have fun this football season and we're going to give you guys the best coverage possible. So be sure to keep tuning in. Greatly appreciate y'all for checking out oh yeah. As you can see by the screen, I am mourning the loss of Black America's big brother for Gen X and millennials, Mr. Malcolm Jamal Warner. That hurt my heart, man. That was, not only was he a great television character, he was a great human being by all accounts. Like this was a dude who had spoken word Grammys. I mean, he had his own jazz band, Miles Long. Like, and everything, like, you never want to lose somebody at 54 years old, but everything that has come out about Malcolm Jamal Warner has been in the absolute positive. That's the way we should all aspire to live our lives. Like when we die, you want people to really be sad and just remember just how great of a person you were. And I know that it sucks that we lost him so young. Man, that's why I don't swim. Man. I'm sorry. Like when I learned that a teaspoon of water can drown you, I said, no, thank you. And I guess, nothing, the Reaper comes for us all eventually. Everybody has a number. Everybody has a finite time. Everybody does. But some people leave this earth a little earlier than others, and it just absolutely sucks. And losing Malcolm Jamal Warner in this way, this young, absolutely sucks. Like I related to Theo so bad because I was the only boy in a house full of girls too. I mean, at least he had his dad. I was raised by a single mom, but it was my mom, my older sister, my younger sister, my grandmother, and me. So I was the only boy in the house. So I could relate to Theo sort of feeling like, people, pushing against you because you are the only boy. And I just related to Theo in that way. What, Adrian? What are you saying, man? Stop it. Don't do that because those people don't know thee is old English and means you. Hey, man, we just having fun. We are just having fun. But yeah, rest in peace to Malcolm Jamal Warner. Tragic, tragic loss. Prayers with his parents, his wife, his daughter, and every life that he touched, because apparently he touched a ton of them. And again, that's the way we should all aspire to live our lives, You just want to live your life, man. You just want to live your life, live your life in a way that people remember you fondly when you go. And I think that's all we can ask for. That is all we can ask for. And that's going to do it for this edition of the MEAC and More. Wow, we got to 1 o'clock. I'm absolutely taking a nap after this. Greatly appreciate y'all for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. If you want to super chat donate, that's still a possibility. When you donate, you get all the HBCU coverage you can stand, which is a lot. Be sure to follow us on all manners of social media. We are on the Musty app. We're on TikTok. We're on Threads, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, we're everywhere. Just search for HBCU Sports. Again, if you want to donate at hbcusports.com on the Zelle app, or you can go straight to the website, hbcusports.com/donate. And one more time before we go. No, that's not the one. This is the one. Saturday, July 26th, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same YouTube channel as you are watching this on. The second annual HBCU Sports Awards is coming to you live. We will be honoring the best and brightest in 2024-2025 athletics in HBCU sports. Be sure to tune in for that. You'll see me in a suit jacket, even though I don't like suits, but we're doing that. Also, before we get up out of here, don't forget, Ken Rashad has a great new book out, HBCU Sports 101, A Guide to Understanding Black College Athletics. It's on Amazon. You can go to Barnes & Noble and look for it. He's got it on his website, kenrashad.com. Buy the book. I had a chance to preview it. And if you want to, those of us who are HBCU OGs, a lot of this stuff we already know, but this is definitely a book for people who seek to understand HBCUs genuinely and not come in a bad faith argument, like a lot of people that come into this space do. There's a lot of bad faith actors in the HBCU space. But if you're coming into the HBCU space to understand, to admire, to learn how you can help, Ken Rashad's book, HBCU Sports 101, A Guide to Understanding Black College Athletics. It's available now. Go pick it up. And that's going to do it once again for this edition of the MEAC More. Greatly appreciate y'all as always. I will see y'all on Saturday for the HBCU Sports Awards, and we will be back next Wednesday with another edition of the MEAC More. So until the next time we speak, you beautiful people, take care of yourselves and each other. We gone.